The endocrine system. The endocrine system, second messenger system of the body, uses chemical messengers, hormones, that are released into the blood. Hormones control several major processes: reproduction, growth and development, mobilization of body defenses, maintenance of much of homeostasis, regulation of metabolism. Hormone overview. Hormones are produced by specialized cells. Cells secrete hormones into extracellular fluids. Blood transfers hormones to target sites. These hormones regulate the activity of other cells. The chemistry of hormones. Hormones are classified chemically as amino acid-based, which includes proteins, peptides, amines, steroids, made from cholesterol, prostaglandins, made from highly active lipids. Mechanisms of hormone action. Hormones affect only certain tissues or organs, target cells or target organs. Target cells must have specific protein receptors. Hormone binding alters cellular activity. Effects caused by hormones. Changes in plasma membrane permeability or electrical state. Synthesis of proteins, such as enzymes. Activation or inactivation of enzymes. Stimulation of mitosis. Promotion of secretory activity. The chemistry of hormones. Two mechanisms in which hormones act. Direct gene activation. Second messenger system. Direct gene activation, steroid hormone action. Diffuse through the plasma membrane of target cells. Enter the nucleus. Bind to a specific protein within the nucleus. Bind to specific sites on the cell's DNA. Activate genes that result in synthesis of new proteins. Hormone receptor complex. Cytoplasm. Nucleus. Steroid hormone. Receptor. Protein. Hormone receptor complex. DNA. mRNA. New protein. Plasma membrane of target cell. Figure 9.1a, second messenger system, non-steroid hormone action. Hormone binds to a membrane receptor. Hormone does not enter the cell. Sets off a series of reactions that activates an enzyme. Catalyzes a reaction that produces a second messenger molecule. Oversees additional intracellular changes to promote a specific response. Non-steroid hormone, first messenger, cytoplasm. Enzyme. ATP. Second messenger. CAMP. Receptor protein. Effect on cellular function, such as glycogen breakdown. Plasma membrane of target cell. Figure 9.1b. Control of hormone release. Hormone levels in the blood are mostly maintained by negative feedback. A stimulus or low hormone levels in the blood triggers the release of more hormone. Hormone release stops once an appropriate level in the blood is reached. Hormonal stimuli of endocrine glands. Most common stimuli. Endocrine glands are activated by other hormones. Examples: anterior pituitary hormones. Hormonal stimuli of endocrine glands. Figure 9.2a, humoral stimuli of endocrine glands. Changing blood levels of certain ions stimulate hormone release. Humoral indicates various body fluids such as blood and bile. Examples: parathyroid hormone, calcitonin, insulin. Humoral stimuli of endocrine glands. Figure 9.2b. Neural stimuli of endocrine glands. Nerve impulses stimulate hormone release. Most are under the control of the sympathetic nervous system. Examples include the release of norepinephrine and epinephrine by the adrenal medulla. Neural stimuli of endocrine glands. Figure 9.2c. Major endocrine organs. Pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid glands, adrenal glands, pineal gland, thymus gland, pancreas, gonads, ovaries and testes, hypothalamus. Location of major endocrine organs. Figure 9.3. Pituitary gland size of a pea. Hangs by a stalk from the hypothalamus in the brain. Protected by the sphenoid bone. Has two functional lobes. Anterior pituitary, glandular tissue. Posterior pituitary, nervous tissue. Often called the master endocrine gland. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. 6 anterior pituitary hormones. 2 affect non-endocrine targets. Growth hormone, prolactin. 4 stimulate other endocrine glands, tropic hormones. Thyroid-stimulating hormone, thyrotropic hormone. Adrenocorticotropic hormone. 2 gonadotropic hormones. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Characteristics of all anterior pituitary hormones. Proteins, or peptides. Act through second messenger systems. Regulated by hormonal stimuli, mostly negative feedback. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Growth hormone. General metabolic hormone. Major effects are directed to growth of skeletal muscles and long bones. Plays a role in determining final body size. Causes amino acids to be built into proteins. Causes fats to be broken down for a source of energy. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Growth hormone, GH, disorders. Pituitary dwarfism results from hypersecretion of GH during childhood. Gigantism results from hypersecretion of GH during childhood. Acromegaly results from hypersecretion of GH during adulthood. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Gigantism. Figure 9.5a. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Dwarfism. Figure 9.5b. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Prolactin, PRL. Stimulates and maintains milk production following childbirth. Function in males is unknown. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH. Regulates endocrine activity of the adrenal cortex. Thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH. Influences growth and activity of the thyroid gland. Hormones of the anterior pituitary. Gonadotropic hormones. Regulate hormonal activity of the gonads. Follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH. Stimulates follicle development in ovaries. Stimulates sperm development in testes. Luteinizing hormone, LH. Triggers ovulation of an egg in females. Stimulates testosterone production in males. Pituitary hypothalamus relationship. Hormonal release is regulated by releasing and inhibiting hormones produced by the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus produces 2 hormones. These hormones are transported to neurosecretory cells of the posterior pituitary. Oxytocin. Antidiuretic hormone. The posterior pituitary is not strictly an endocrine gland, but but does release hormones. Hormones of the posterior pituitary. Oxytocin stimulates contractions of the uterus during labor, sexual relations, and breastfeeding. Causes milk ejection in a nursing woman. Hormones of the posterior pituitary. Antidiuretic hormone, ADH. Inhibits urine production by promoting water reabsorption by the kidneys. In large amounts, causes vasoconstriction leading to increased blood pressure. Also known as vasopressin.